Today we're going to begin learning the basics of editing. Now, editing can be a very complicated process, but we're going to keep things simple with a checklist and some easy steps for you to remember. You are getting a checklist today. Please keep this checklist. It's very important that you keep up with it throughout the year because it has some very important information for you. Let's get started. First, when you log into your assigned laptop, you must make a folder on the C drive where you will keep all of your materials for this video project. The C in C drive stands for computer. That means your folder will be saved on this computer only, but will be accessible by anyone who logs in. That is great when you're working with a partner because either of you can log into the computer and access the video folder. To make your C drive folder, click the File Explorer icon on the bottom panel of your desktop. Then, find your computer name on the left side panel and click it. Now, locate the C drive. Hint, it's the one with a C on it. In this drive, right-click anywhere in the white area and then select New Folder. Now, name this folder your name and the title of the project you are working on. For example, for this project, you would name it Jasmine Santiago Composition Video. For now, you have nothing in this folder, but don't worry, before too long you will fill it up with elements for your video project. Let's start by adding videos that you shot on your SD card. First, put your SD card in the computer. Locate the SD card slot on the left side of the laptop base. With the gold panels facing down, insert the SD card into the computer. Do not force it in the wrong way. You could break your SD card, or worse, you could break my laptop. If you have inserted it correctly, it will click into place. Click on your computer name again from the File Explorer. Along with your C drive, you should now see your SD card pop up on the screen. It usually shows up as a removable disk or a USB drive. Double-click to open up your SD card and locate your videos. The first place to look is under the folder titled Video. Then click 100 Video. In this folder, right-click the white area and click View, Large Icons. This will make it easier to see your clips. If you see your video clips in this folder, highlight them, right-click, and press Copy. Once you have copied your clips, go back to your folder that you made in the C drive and right-click to paste your clips in this folder. If you could not locate the clips that you shot in the video folder of your SD card, there is one other place they sometimes go. I don't know why, but it's a little complicated, so follow along. In your SD card drive, click the Private folder, then click AVCHD, then click BDMV, then Stream. Your missing clips should be in this folder. Once you've located all the clips you recorded and have saved them into your C drive folder, it's time to open our editing software program. Locate the Adobe Creative Cloud icon on your desktop. It's a red icon with two circles intertwined. On the login page, your username is your GTID number at mcsdgas.com with no password. Just click Sign In after typing your username. Once you are logged in, click the Apps tab at the top left of the page. Locate the purple Adobe Premiere Pro icon and open the 2018 version. If it says it needs to update, please click Update and let the process complete before moving on. Be sure to always use the 2018 version because the 2019 version does not work well on the laptops. It can actually end up freezing your computer and it will be very frustrating. If you get a message that mentions screen resolution when you are opening the application, just press OK. Once Premiere opens, you want to start a new project, so click the button that says New Project. This will take you to a settings page. On this page, you must change two things: the name and location of your project. Start by typing a new name in the box that says Untitled. Once you've typed a new name, you need to change the location. Click the Browse button and locate your C Drive folder that you created. This is the folder you should save your Premiere Pro project in. Once you've changed the name and location, click OK at the bottom of the screen. Now you have started a new Premiere Pro project, but before we can start editing, we need to create a sequence to edit. At the top left of the page, click File, New, Sequence. Here, you must change your sequence settings to XDCAM EX 1080p 30HQ. Then click OK. I know this is a ton of steps to start a new project and you had to use some pretty complicated settings. This is why it is very important to keep the checklist that I've given you throughout the school year to use as a cheat sheet as you work. Before we begin editing, let's talk about the different areas of the screen and what they are used for. There are 4 main sections of the screen. In the bottom left is your project bin. This is where you will keep all of your raw clips. The raw clip is one that has not been edited yet. You will notice that your bin is currently empty except for the sequence that you just created. Let's go ahead and get some of our clips imported into our project. At the top left of the screen, click File, Import. Now, locate your clips in the C Drive folder that you created. To import multiple clips at one time, click on the first clip, then hold down Shift and click on the last clip. This will select all of the clips in between. Once you have selected your clips, click Open. You should see your video clips appear in your bin. Another way to import clips is by dragging them from your C Drive folder and dropping them into your bin. Either way works. The next section of your screen that we will discuss is the preview monitor. This is located right above your bin on the left side of the screen. This monitor shows you your raw clips before you add them to your timeline. To make a clip show up in your preview monitor, simply double-click the clip in your bin or drag the clip from your bin to the preview monitor. To edit your raw clip before adding it to the timeline, you can add in and out points. There are 2 ways to do this. You can use your keyboard or you can use your mouse. First, drag the blue marker to the point that you want your clip to begin. Then either click I on your keyboard to add an endpoint or click the bracket icon on your monitor. Either one works. Now move your blue marker to the spot where you want your clip to end. You can now click O on your keyboard to create an out point, or you can click the close bracket on your screen. Now you should see that you have one section of your video highlighted. That means you have successfully trimmed your raw clip. Now let's start editing our video by discussing the final 2 sections of our screen. The timeline is located on the bottom right side of your screen. This is where you edit your video as a whole. Right above your timeline is your program monitor. This monitor shows what your final video will look like based on what you have edited on your timeline so far. Right now your program monitor is black because you have not added any videos yet. Let's fix that by adding the clip we just trimmed in our preview monitor. Simply drag the video from the preview monitor onto your timeline and line it up at the very start. You will notice that your clip comes in 2 parts that are connected. The video is on the top line and the audio is on the bottom line. You can drag them anywhere on your timeline to order your clips, but for now, let's just keep it at the front. Now you see that the video clip you just added shows up in your program monitor. Use your blue cursor to navigate your timeline and see how it plays out in your program monitor. Let's discuss how you can edit clips once they are on your timeline. The easiest way to edit a clip on your timeline is to trim that clip. First, let's zoom in so we can see a little bit better. Place your blue cursor over the clip you want to edit. Then, click one of the circles on the horizontal scroll bar at the bottom of your timeline and drag it together to zoom in. You do the opposite to zoom back out. Once you have zoomed in to where you can see your clip, let's practice trimming the end of that clip. Hover your mouse around the end of your video clip until the icon changes to a red bar with an arrow. This is your trim tool. To trim the end of the clip, click and drag the clip to where you want it to end. You can do the same with the beginning of the clip. Don't worry if you took it too far. You can always use the same tool to drag it back out. The next way to edit a clip on your timeline is to cut the clip into 2 or more pieces. In order to do this, put your blue cursor on the clip where you want it to cut. Then locate the cut tool that looks like a razor blade and click one time on the blue cursor on your clip. Now, to get your mouse back, click on the mouse icon and you can separate the clips or just delete one of them completely. Now let's talk about timecode. In your program monitor, you will see 2 sets of timecode, a blue timecode and a gray timecode. The blue timecode is where your blue cursor is on your timeline. This number changes as you move the cursor back and forth. The gray timecode tells you how long your video is as a whole. This number changes as you add video clips to your timeline and your video gets longer. A timecode has 4 sections: hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. Video is made up of many still pictures that move so quickly it looks like the pictures are moving. There are 30 frames in every 1 second of video. Next, I want to show you how to monitor your audio levels. You will see your audio level reader to the right of your timeline. As your clip plays, you should notice your levels jumping up and down. It's important that your level hits between -12 and -24 decibels on the scale. This will ensure your audio sounds adequate. You do not want it to be too low, or you don't want it to be hitting the red levels at the top. Now let's talk about how to create and add a title to your video. In the top left corner of your screen, click File, New, Legacy Title. A settings screen will pop up. You don't need to change anything here, just click OK. Now your title creation page will appear. In this page, you can play around with the different font sizes and options as you create a title. Click anywhere on the blank screen to begin typing. In order to move your text around on the screen, you need to select the mouse icon in the upper left corner of the screen. Then you can drag and drop to where you need the text to go. Once you finish creating your title, simply press the X button, and the title will appear in your bin with your video clips. You can now drag this title onto your timeline wherever you would like it to go. This title can be trimmed or cut just like any other video clip. You can even stack it on top of a video for a cool effect. The final editing trick I'll show you today is how to add basic effects to your videos. First, you need to locate your Effects tab. It is usually one of the tabs located in your bin workspace. Click the drop-down arrows if you don't see it. In some workspaces, it may also appear in the panel on the right of your screen. If you want to add an effect, simply search for the effect that you want in the Effects search bar. The most common effect is the cross-dissolve video transition. So if I search dissolve, I will see it come up. I simply drag this icon and drop it between 2 videos on my timeline. The videos must be touching in order to add a transition. I can even zoom in and trim the transition to make it shorter or longer. As you work on editing your videos, you can play around and search for different effects. There are really endless possibilities with this Premiere Pro program. Once our video is finished and we are ready to turn it in, it's time to export. Double check that everything in your timeline looks good and that your timecode accurately reflects your final video length. If you see that your timecode is way off, you may have a clip hanging out somewhere down your timeline that you forgot about that needs to be deleted. Once you are ready to export, click inside your timeline so that this section of your screen is selected. You will notice that it is highlighted in blue. Now, click File, Export Media. Then you will see your Export Settings window pop up. There are several steps here, so make sure you always reference this video or your exporting checklist to make sure you get it all right. First, you want to change your format to H.264. Next, change your preset to High Quality 1080p HD. Now for the steps so many students miss and it makes them lose their final video. You must change your output name and location before you export. So, to do this, click the blue text next to Output Name and a Save As window will open. Change the name of your video and also make sure the location is to your C drive folder. Once you have changed the name and selected the appropriate location, click Save. Now it's time to click the Export button. On the laptops, the Export Settings window is too large to reach the button. So simply make your window smaller so that you can click Export. After the export process has finished, you should minimize Premiere Pro, open your C drive folder, and locate your final video. Be sure to preview your final video before turning it in. When turning in your video, you copy the video file and then open our class share drive. This is the folder called Shaw Video Production on your desktop. Under the Miller folder, find your class period and paste your video into the appropriate folder. Once it appears in that folder, you have successfully submitted your video. Be sure to preview your video file to make sure it plays properly before finishing the turn-in process. I know we went over a lot today, but don't be overwhelmed. You have this video if you need a refresher as well as that checklist. So keep up with it. Good luck with your first video, and I can't wait to see how it turns out.